A Christmas tea. My sister introduced him, her smile a mocking sneer. This was our family's absolute failure. Okay, listen. Imagine this. What if the people who were supposed to love you the most spent your entire life calling you a failure, only for you to discover they'd actually built their golden child's success by stealing everything you had? It sounds wild, right? But that's my story. And it all started with a betrayal that cut deeper than I ever thought possible. My name is Elena Moore. And for most of my life, that name felt less like an identity and more like an afterthought. I remember Christmas night, standing in that dining room, watching my stepsister, Chloe, practically crumble under Daniel's words. Something in me cracked. Maybe it was a memory, a flash of every ache, every slight from years gone by, rushing back. Because what happened at that dinner table, it didn't start there. Not really. It began a long, long time ago, way before Chloe ever learned to wield a smile like a weapon. I grew up in a house that always felt a little off-kilter, you know? Like things were uneven before I was old enough to even understand what imbalance meant. My mom, she was my quiet anchor. Gentle hands, tired eyes, that soft voice calling me my brave girl. She died of breast cancer when I was almost 16. And when she was gone, the house just emptied out. Not just of furniture, but of oxygen. It felt like I had to learn to grieve her before I could even figure out how to breathe again. My dad remarried 6 months later. That's all it took. People said he was lonely. Me? I think he was just terrified. Afraid of being alone with a daughter who reminded him too much of the woman he'd lost. Then came Tina. Bright lipstick, perfect hair, and a daughter who looked like she belonged on the cover of a teen magazine. Chloe. She was a year younger than me, but she carried herself like the world owed her sunlight. She just walked into her home with new clothes, new energy, new rules. And suddenly, I felt like a stranger, a guest in my own childhood. When my father looked at Chloe, something in his face softened in a way I hadn't seen since my mom was alive. But when he looked at me, he mostly just looked away. Then, a year later, their child, my half-brother, was born. I tried to love him. And maybe, in a quiet sisterly way, I did. But his arrival just solidified the hierarchy in that house. It was unspoken, but it didn't have to be. There were 2 sets of children and 2 very different sets of rules. Chloe? She had dance classes, tap, ballet, jazz. I remember holding her glittery costumes while she showed off spins in the living room. New shoes every school year, sometimes twice. Her birthday parties? They were events. Banners, cakes shaped like princess castles, rented photo booths, a DJ one year. When she turned 16, my dad handed her a set of keys tied with a red ribbon. That's my girl, he beamed as she shrieked with. Full story video added in below.